Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Wait, they actually do work? What fresh madness is this that I see before me? A suggestion that this one's wife and Ginger Bollocks actually do some work? No, purely heresy, surely. All these two do is gad about. She spends her time selecting ill-fitting clothing, so she looks like Kermit Goes to Church, Fridge by Valentino, or one of our jowers is missing. Harry sits spliffed out in the garden, wondering, what would Vladimir Putin have to say about childhood trauma? Perhaps I can speak to the Donald and ask him about it too. They will then mosey around barefooted at the Monty Shit Show mansion, as there is a sudden shriek from indoors, causing Harold to put on his tin hat and go running in to find out what has happened to his little sunflower seed. There she is. Oh, she has dropped to the floor, sobbing. Oh dear, what is it now? The Princess of Wales is wearing some clothing and it fits her, and she looks beautiful and everybody's praising her for it. Yes. Where are the children? Where are the children indeed? Archie is outside, staring at a pair of palm trees, talking to them, saying, Mummy, Daddy, please speak to me. Lilibet is there, crawling across the grass, making her way before standing and ambling, heading over to the vegetable patch. There, she finds a cabbage. Dada, she says, patting it on the head. Yes, a working day in the life of the Sussexes, which will probably include this one's wife sitting at the desk, making herself look important, sat amongst all of the beigeness, and then haranguing WME, asking them what have they got for her. Neither of them work in the traditional sense, and yet we are now expected to believe that they do. How so? Well, Mark Duell, in the Daily Mail, writes, Harry and this one's wife plan new Netflix film and TV series. Sussexes are working on a bunch of new projects. What? Grapes. With a movie and unscripted shows in development. Executive at streaming giant reveals. Okay. This'll be interesting. We're going to get down with some actual detail, aren't we, about the brilliant projects that they have. We'll be told all about the movie, its name, what it relates to, what are the shows that are in development. Here we go. Prince Harry and this one's wife are working on a bunch of new Netflix projects, including a film and 2 other unscripted projects, a company executive has said. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex signed a 5-year agreement with a California-based streaming giant in 2020, worth an estimated $100 million, just in case you were unaware of that having happened. But there has been uncertainty over whether the deal will be renewed next year, especially after their £15 million Spotify contract ended early in June last year. Now, Netflix Chief Content Officer Bella Bajaria has been wheeled out and told, say something to make it seem like they're doing something. No, I beg your pardon. The Chief Content Officer has revealed that Harry and this one's wife actually have a bunch in development under their Archwell Productions arm. According to The Times, Ms. Bajaria told a Netflix promotional event in Hollywood that the Sussexes were working on a couple of unscripted things, thought to be documentaries, plus a film and a series, which are all in very early development. Specific details on the shows are unknown, but the film could be related to Harry and this one's wife's planned £3 million adaptation of the novel Meet Me at the Lake. Well, pausing there, valuable viewers, you'll be delighted to learn that here is an unscripted thing. You hear that? Yes, I've found an unscripted thing. And here's another one. Yep, a couple of unscripted things for you there. Oh, what have I got here? It's a bunch of content in development. wow, listen to all of that. Page upon page of things in development. And wow, here's a film. Astonishing, isn't it? What a load of absolute horse shit. They're not doing anything. And once again, this lazy duo are being exposed for the work-shy fops that they are, telling us there are things in development. If there actually was, you'd be able to give some specifics. This is akin, of course, to this one's wife last year saying, oh, we've got so many exciting things in the pipeline, and failed to name any of them. It's similar to, oh, Instagram, I'm going to be rebooting on there. That was back in August. It still hasn't happened. The fact is, this one's wife and Harold are lazy. He has had a life of privilege whereby everything has been handed to him. She expects a life of privilege so that everything should be handed to her. She's a grifter, not a grafter, as I've explained before. And because of her narcissism, she thinks that things should just fall into her lap because it's her. The suggestion that they're working on things is probably being done in order to manage that facade, to make them seem like they're being busy bees. But if they truly were, it would be the case that they would be actually giving detail. For instance, yes, working on a series, it involves a postman who's actually a superhero. And when he goes about his daily rounds, he cracks crime. There you are. Doesn't sound the most interesting of concepts, but at least you were able to give some detail. If you were actually working on something, you would be able to talk about it. So, for instance, I sporadically continue work on the third aspect of the Ian Wynne and Ashley Havenia series that you all know as Narcissist Seduction and Narcissist Ensnared. So I can tell you that I've been writing it and that I have been continuing to work on it intermittently amidst other projects. That I have been undertaking work about the series about Vladimir Zelensky, continuing the research in that regard. I'm able to give you the specifics. That I have waiting to be narrated to further series of Watch the Narcissist in Action, one relating to a religious narcissist, a father of the children who hoovers them with telephone calls, and another instance showing an interaction between a narcissist and her romantic victim, which involves instances of heated ignited fury. I can give you the specifics, you see, because, and I don't want to give too much away as to what it is to spoil the anticipation, but I at least can tell you what it's about, what the subject matter is, because I've worked on it. The difference is here, it's all vagueness. And vagueness is often used by a narcissist as a means of manipulation. You require certainty. Your brain does. It's the way that it's developed. Your brain loves certainty and hates uncertainty. That's why you get anxious, become fearful, you become upset when something doesn't make sense to you. It unsettles you. You're not able to shrug it off by just going, oh, well, I don't understand it, there we are. You have the need to understand because your brain wants that certainty. And in order to drive you to get that certainty, your brain has evolved to create a sensation of feeling unsettled, upset, anxious, fearful, whatever it might be. So you are driven to go and seek out that certainty. It's also the way that your brain will play tricks on you, causing you to hear or see something to create certainty. You'll recall, perhaps, where it was doing the rounds a little while ago on social media, there was a sound being played. And when you listen to it, it sounded like gobbledygook. But then when you're told it's green grass or whatever it might have been, you listen again and that's what you hear. But it isn't actually green grass. It is gobbledygook. But your brain wants to make sense of it. So when your brain is told what you're actually hearing is green grass, your brain goes, that'll do for me. I'll take that certainty. Thank you very much. And tricks you into believing that's what you're actually hearing. Accordingly, vagueness is used by the narcissist because your need for certainty becomes offended by vagueness. It makes you unsettled and causes you to be easier to control. That rather than you back away, you interact more with the narcissist, trying to find out the details, trying to pin them down on some certainties, getting them to clarify what was meant, because you don't like vagueness. Your brain doesn't like vagueness, but the narcissist utilizes vagueness as a means of asserting control and also giving accountability to the slip. If specifics aren't provided, how can the narcissist be held to anything? And this is precisely what this one's wife's narcissism is doing here as a consequence of causing Netflix to provide information which doesn't really tell us anything at all. For instance, last November, this one's wife revealed that the Sussexes have various projects on the horizon, future faking, and she wanted to produce things that make people feel something. Speaking at the Variety Women of Power Gala in Los Angeles, she said, "We have so many exciting things on the slate. I can't wait until we can announce them, but I'm just really proud of what we're creating, and my husband is loving it too." Vagueness. I've told you that we're doing stuff. Shut up. You don't need to know any more. But of course, it's easy to say, oh, something's in the pipeline. Oh, this is coming along. And the fact is, they're not working on anything. This is just more PR puff pieces to make it seem like there's something coming to try and maintain the public's interest in them. And to give the impression that they actually do work, when we all know they're basically lazy. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.